I was watching YouTube the other day and found a video with over 40 million views showing us that we have actually been applying Teflon tape wrong all these years. Actually, you're supposed to roll it into a thread and wrap that into the grooves of your fitting. Now, I am a bit skeptical, but willing to give it a try. So let's test that method compared to standard Teflon tape, then premium Teflon tape, and finally Teflon tape plus thread sealant, or also known as pipe dope. So first up, we'll go ahead and try to do as close to the video as possible. We'll take the Teflon tape and kind of roll it into a string, getting it down in each groove. I can already tell you this is going to take you 2 or 3 times longer, so hopefully it works a lot better. And then we will do 2 wraps at the end, just like they did in the video, to be fair on this first test that we're going to do. Now we'll thread this into one of the most common leak areas on our home, and that is when a homeowner changes out their shower arm or they're doing some type of remodel and they thread this in, because you have to tighten it up, and you really can only tighten it up so much, or you have to do a complete rotation. So it is prone to failure right at that fitting. Second up is just standard Teflon tape. We'll rotate in the clockwise direction as you look at your fitting. Just want to make sure that's crystal clear. Looking down the male threads, we will be rotating around in the clockwise direction. This will help ensure the Teflon tape does not want to unwrap as we tighten on the shower arm. And then you'll make sure that you'll do 3 to 4 wraps of that Teflon tape before installing it. Similarly, both of these will be exposed, and then our third and fourth option will be behind drywall to give a little bit more of an accurate representation of what you're going to be facing at your own home. And then I use a long flathead screwdriver within the shower arm to get a little bit more torque and try to brace that shower arm as I turn it. Now for our third option, we're going premium. We're going Blue Monster. Now I say premium, but if you actually look per foot, it's about the same price because you get a ton more tape on each Blue Monster roll. The one thing about Blue Monster, it has a little less friction at the start. So you actually have to complete your first wrap before you can really put that tension on the Teflon tape. And similarly to the white Teflon tape, I'll do 3 or 4 wraps with the Blue Monster, even though it's a little thicker. It should be noted Teflon tape is not only a sealant, but it's also a lubricant, and it helps these 2 threads come together. Without it, there'd be a lot of friction, and you most likely are not going to get it completely threaded in. For the fourth test, we'll double back to standard Teflon tape. Now, best practice is not to have that coming off the top because it'll want to unwind as we're wrapping around in the clockwise direction. So flip it over, have it coming off the bottom, and it's easier to apply that tension and get a nice tight wrap doing your 3 or 4 turns on the shower arm. And then finally, we'll use the pipe dope on the outside of the Teflon tape with a nice thin layer. You don't have to go too crazy with it, but here's what that looks like. And then we'll take our time. Remember, you can cross thread both the shower arm and your shower head. So take your time as you start the thread so you don't make your DIY project a lot longer. And then I'll just use the same shower head for each of these, doing a couple wraps of Teflon tape on the other end of the shower arm. It should be noted, if you're installing the shower arm at home, don't forget to put your cover or flange on before tightening that up, or you're just gonna have to loosen it back up and get that on so you can cover up any drywall damage. And then with a shower head, you usually have a strainer and a gasket. That gasket's critical. Make sure that's in place to help stop any leaks. Now with these cheap shower heads, and most shower heads, they're actually plastic. So 1, careful starting your threading or you'll easily cross thread those. And 2, you're just gonna tighten them pretty lightly. Do not over tighten them or they'll just split open. The plastic will split open and then you'll be going right back to the home improvement store. So I usually use a rag and some channel locks or slip joint pliers from Knipex like these and just do a nice little snug there to finish things off. So now we're ready to kick off the test. We'll run 10 minutes on 2 at a time. I don't want to go all 4 because I don't want to drop the pressure too much. I'm running about 50 PSI worth of pressure off a garden hose. So that's right in the middle of the 40 to 60 PSI you'd usually see with a residential plumbing system. And then don't forget, there's a link in the description, or you can scan this QR code right here to download our 2025 home maintenance checklist. It has your monthly, seasonal, and yearly items you should be staying on top of, and QR codes right beside it to give additional information from videos on each one of those items. Really, it's just perfect to hang on your refrigerator and get a gentle nudge every once in a while on those items that you want to stay on top of. So we'll turn the ball valves on here and run for 10 minutes. The one closest to you is going to be kind of that TikTok approved or YouTube Shorts approved method, we're making the string and going in the threads, and then standard Teflon tape further from you. And we can see we already are looking like we're gonna have at least one failure in this testing. Now finishing up that 10 minutes, we'll move on to the Blue Monster and the Teflon tape and the pipe dope, running this 3rd and 4th slot. Now for the 10-minute time lapse, there's not a ton to look at here. You can see the water kind of trickling in the lower left-hand corner, but this is the full 10 minutes during the actual cycle. And here's a closer look, looking at the drywall to see if we see any water damage there on the Blue Monster side, finishing up our trial here, and then the Teflon tape plus the pipe dope. So the results are in, and we did have a failure, as you saw. The Teflon tape with only about 3 wraps, it didn't do it. We had a steady leak, and that steady leak can cause huge problems in your home. It will damage your drywall, and if you don't catch that, you just turn everything on, you will catch it when you have drywall damage, and now you have a drywall and a painting project ahead of you. Believe it or not, the internet sensation over here actually did work, but it takes quite a bit more time. So I'm not a huge fan of this, just because you have to be so delicate getting that string into each one of the threads. Now, Blue Monster did fantastic, and then Teflon tape and the pipe dope also just looked super solid and absolutely no leaks. Now the percentages here are actually a poll I ran on my channel, and this was the viewers giving feedback of which one they prefer when they are putting together fittings. About 50%, 48% said Teflon tape. It's the most common, it's been around, it's standard. Now when it comes to Teflon tape and pipe dope, also very popular at 32%, and then not quite as popular was Blue Monster at 7%. Now this doesn't add up to 100 because I had one more option out there, which was just pipe dope, and a few people actually like to do that as their preferred method as well. So the question is, what would you do to fix this one if you just had Teflon tape? Well, I just did that. I carefully removed the shower arm and removed all of the old Teflon tape to start fresh. Now I knew I only put about 3 wraps on before, so I almost doubled that up to get more Teflon tape on the shower arm, and then I reinstalled that with exactly the same amount of turns as I did before, turned on the water, tested it out, and now we don't have any leaks. So you can fix it with just Teflon tape, but that might not be the best option. For me, man, I'm really starting to favor the Teflon tape and pipe dope. It just looks super solid, and I think that is by far the best way. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Always interested to get your feedback. Now, if you guys have an outdoor spigot that's giving you a little trouble, it always drips and you just cannot get it to shut off, check out this video right here and I'll walk you through the complete process. It will not take you much time or cost you much money. Pretty easy fix. Or if you guys need a little more storage around the house, check out this video right here, and it's our latest DIY shed build over on our other channel called Everyday Shed. So thanks for joining me on this video, and we'll catch you on one of those next ones. Take care.